Can I just do this? It kind of looks like I can. I mean, that wood hammer does some damage, but the coaching defense boost kind of coming in handy there. And yeah, I mean, they did a bunch to the Ice Rider, but I can coach again in Glacial Lance. What have you got for it? This team recently placed second in the Thai Master Ball League, which I think is basically a national championship for Thailand. To be honest, I'm not the most knowledgeable about events in Asia. If you don't know, Pokemon events outside of Asia are organized by the Pokemon Company International, so they run events in North America, Europe, Latin America, Oceania, and now Africa and the Middle East. But the Pokemon Company runs events in Asia with different formats, and I don't tend to see that side of the game very often, especially since I don't use Twitter anymore, and that's where the Japanese teams tend to get posted and whatnot. But yeah, I believe the Thai Master Ball League was basically a national championship for Thailand, and this is definitely the team that got second place. It has been going around the internet already for a while since the event, and the reason is pretty straightforward. It has the Scraggy on it. Now, when I saw Scraggy, there actually was something that looked kind of familiar about this, because I remembered that there was a Scraggy at the World Championships back last year as well. And sure enough, these are the standings from Worlds 2024. We can see a Scraggy team right here, which actually looks pretty similar, even though it's in Regulation G instead of I, to the team from Thailand. I actually misremembered. I thought that Scraggy had made day 2 at Worlds. It looks like it fell just short, but still 5-3 at Worlds is pretty impressive. And if we look at the team, it is the same Scraggy set with the Eviolite, Poison Terra, Intimidate, Foul Play, Endeavor, Coaching, and Fake Out. But going back to the team from Thailand, the reason to run Scraggy is pretty straightforward. So first of all, it has some good bulk with the Eviolite being an unevolved Pokemon and with Intimidate. But the big thing that it does is it's a couple points of base speed slower than Ice Rider, Calyrex, and Iron Hands. So with this team, you can set up Trick Room with your Calyrex or your Farigiraf, and then Scraggy can use the coaching before your powerful physical attackers attack. And so you get to take advantage of that boost right away. By the way, I do have the EVs for this team. I've just left them out for presentation purposes here, but we'll go to Showdown in a second. The Calyrex and the Iron Hands are speed tying on this team, so maybe you want to avoid having them on the field at the same time. I don't know. But the point is Scraggy underspeeds both, and it gives him that coaching. And then Scraggy having Endeavor is interesting because with the Eviolite, it can probably take some hits, kind of survive at lower HP, and then you can get a lot of damage into a target with Endeavor when you're at that low HP. Again, Scraggy being an especially fast Pokemon, underspeeding not just these two, but also things like both Ursaluna forms. Endeavor sets the target's HP to match the user's HP, so that can be very powerful with the right timing in Scraggy's hands. The rest of this team here in Reg I is Miraidon offense. So Miraidon and Ice Rider Calyrex pair pretty nicely together, partly because they work well with some of the same teammates. So Farigiraf can protect Miraidon from priority, and it can also join up with Ice Rider Calyrex in a Trick Room mode and be a second Trick Room setter on this team. And Helping Hand can enable big damage from Miraidon and Calyrex, and also from Iron Treads, which is here with a very offensive set, taking advantage of the electric terrain. Iron Hands also benefits from the electric terrain and benefits from the Trick Room, so it plays nicely with both of these two. Although, again, on this team, it is speed tying with the Calyrex, which feels a little awkward, but maybe it isn't. I don't know. I do have the creators' EVs. They released a rental that I've seen in a couple of places already. So it's really making the rounds online. And you can see the Scraggy is fully invested in its defense and special defense, basically. We've got the Ice Riders set here, Miraidon. It's a bulky Miraidon. We've got the Farigiraf, of course, also steering into bulk as this Pokemon does. The Iron Treads is just max speed, 252 attack, just go. And of course the Iron Hands is a nice bulky attacker to take advantage of that Assault Vest. So this is not Scraggy's only result in Scarlet and Violet, but I'm sure it is Scraggy's best result, and we're going to see what we can do to get some good results with it here on the ladder. Alright, we got another Miraidon Ice Rider team right off the bat. They rejected open team sheets immediately. Isn't this just the team that won Utrecht? I just recorded with it. This sure looks like it. So they don't want me to know that they have Leech Seed on the Calyrex, but I know. But how do I beat it? I kind of like Miraidon Iron Tread's lead into this, except... Well, obviously the Landorus is a pain for that, but also the Incineroar intimidating the Iron Treads, that I don't love. I would really like to get the Ice Rider Calyrex going with the Scraggy and Trick Room. Is this the game for it? Honestly, it might be. I mean, what I can do is I can lead like Miraidon Farigiraf, set Trick Room and Volt Switch, and get the Ice Rider in. Maybe I want Iron Treads in this matchup, but we're going to try this. It's game 1. We're going to try to have some fun here with Scraggy. First game of the video. They're still taking some time, though. What else do I remember about this team? I just recorded with it. I think the big thing they're trying to hide from me is the Leech Seed Calyrex. Okay. Grimmsnarl or Shifu. I can just Volt Switch the Urshifu slot, right? They could switch Landorus in if they brought it. They probably did bring it into this matchup, right? I'm just going to do it anyway. Let's see what happens. And yeah, I'll go straight for Trick Room with Farigiraf. The idea here is get the Ice Rider in with Trick Room on the field already. Ah, they did. They did the thing. Well, I called out that they could, and I still played into it. So, don't I feel silly? I'll pivot to Scraggy here, and just try to chip this Landorus, I guess? I mean, the thing is, Landorus is a huge threat to Miraidon, but it's not a huge threat, especially under Trick Room to Ice Rider. Maybe there's something better I could do with Farigiraf's action. Maybe I needed to double switch here. I don't know. Switch Scraggy in on a Spirit Break immediately and an Earth Power. So Scraggy will not do anything this game except sacrifice itself to get Calyrex in, but so it goes sometimes, I guess. And here I'll just Glacial Lance and Helping Hand. I don't know if they'll keep Landorus on the field, but this ought to do big damage to basically anything. Do I have a Clear Amulet on this Calyrex? I do, okay. Even Incineroar then is hard pressed to try to ruin its day. And they can't even fake me out on the next turn because I have Farigiraf on the field. They switch to their own Calyrex. Okay, makes sense. They can set Reflect here. And they do. Still does a lot to Grimmsnarl, not so much to Calyrex. I think I could just Glacial Lance and Foul Play their Calyrex here, yeah? But this is where the Leech Seed might start to come into play. Well, we'll see what kind of damage this does. I am also starting to run out of Trick Room turns, but I do have both of my setters still. They go Urshifu here, okay. Do I get big Foul Play damage? Not that big. Not that big. Unfortunately, I don't have the Scraggy to get boosts, and also can't really safely boost in front of this. If I had Terra Grass on this Ice Rider, then I could sit here in front of this Calyrex, because of course it would be immune to Leech Seed. Although, actually, that doesn't really work that well, because they also have Glacial Lance. So that's the power of Leech Seed Calyrex right there. Honestly, maybe I'm doing a better showcase. Yeah, maybe I'm unintentionally doing a better showcase of the Utrecht team now than when I used it myself. Because I don't know how to break this. I'm feeling pretty stumped. Right now I'm just kind of waiting out my own Trick Room and looking to get Miraidon back in. But then they have this. I mean, if they just put it on the field like that, maybe I can... Probably not. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to win with Miraidon at this point, but easier said than done. And so what could I have done here? I don't know. Maybe I needed to prioritize getting rid of the Grimmsnarl. If I had Volt Switched the Grimmsnarl turn 1. I don't know. That leads down some kind of a different path. Yeah, they're just stalling out some Leech Seed damage here. But I am just letting one of these go down to get Miraidon in. I think I just have completely goofed up this game, and I don't really see a path. Yeah, the screens into the Leech Seed Maybe I did need Iron Treads. Just to threaten some more damage. Ah, I can do that, right. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I think it's GG. I will lock it to Dazzling Gleam because what else is it going to be with this still here? And I'll try to reverse their Trick Room. If I could protect Miraidon this turn, I'd feel a little bit comfier, but I think the game's lost anyway. Go back to turn 1. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, they crit me right on. But I do reverse the Trick Room here. What's the betting that crit makes things a little bit smoother for them in the end game here? Because what I could do now, I mean, Farigiraf takes... How much does Leech Seed do? I have nothing to do except this. A light screen. They'll probably protect their Calyrex is what I'm saying though. Get a little bit more recovery from Farigiraf, yeah. There's the light screen. I do KO Grimmsnarl here, but... I mean, they can't Aqua Jet Miraidon as long as Farigiraf is still on the field. And I believe this is Banded or Shifu, so they can't protect with it. Do I actually win? I wouldn't bet on it, but let's see. Let's see. No. What first? Is it Scarf or Shifu? Or is it just that I'm running a slow Miraidon? For a second there, I actually got kind of hopeful, but no, it was not to be. But that's the raw power of Miraidon. It actually looked like it might be turning that game around when the game looked absolutely ruined for a while there. Alright, here's another one. I never turned timer on, now I will. Kyogre, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Miraidon, Chien-Pao, Whimsicott. So good Pokemon, but sort of an odd mix of them. What do I want to do to this? Iron Hands looks really strong here, for sure. If I could get Trick Room up and coach the hands. What attacks do I have on hands? Low Kick, Drain Punch, Wild Charge, pretty standard right now. Yeah, do I want to just go hard Trick Room mode here? Like Ice Rider, Farigiraf, Hands, Scraggy. I could lead Hands, Farigiraf, maybe? I could lead Hands, Scraggy. No, because I want a Trick Room setter. I could lead Scraggy, Ice Rider. Fake something out. There's the risk of Incineroar, fake out back the other way. Alright, let's do Scraggy, Farigiraf lead. Fake out and Armor Tail and Trick Room is what I'm looking for here. Armor Tail will protect me from any Whimsicott shenanigans, so that's nice. Let's just fake out this Miraidon immediately, and this is where it might be good to have... I don't know, can't cover for everything. Trick Room. I don't have much damage on the field after I get Trick Room up. That's the one thing that I don't like about this lead choice I've made. Okay, they've gone Incineroar, or I mean Rillaboom, whatever, they're practically the same, right? Can I just switch Ice Rider in here? Can I just do this? It kind of looks like I can. I mean, that Wood Hammer does some damage, but the coaching defense boost kind of coming in handy there. And yeah, I mean, they did a bunch to the Ice Rider, but I can coach again and Glacial Lance. What have you got for it? Trick Room's still up. Rillaboom Woodhammer hits hard, but at +1 defense, not quite as hard as it did before. I can't Encore because, I mean, Scraggy's immune, but also I don't really care if Scraggy's Encore. I want to click coaching here. They can't Encore the Calyrex because it just switched in. Okay, Kyogre comes in. It's still not going to love taking a +2 Glacial Lance. Rillaboom's just wiped out. Now Calyrex is at +3. This is how Calyrex can snowball, right? With coaching and Chilling Neigh. Grimneigh is the Shadow Rider one, Spectre one, the special attack one. This is how Calyrex can snowball with coaching plus Chilling Neigh, really accumulating those boosts quickly. Again, Whimsicott, okay, I'm not afraid of an Encore right now. I still have 2 turns of Trick Room. Coaching, Glacial Lance. Scraggy's a Dark type, so they can't Encore it anyway. I think I already said that. But also, so what if they did? Yeah, Whimsicott's just gone. And Miraidon is their last Pokemon. I don't think it can protect. Calyrex is at +5 now. So this is what you want to see with this team. That first game was rough, but we'll go +6 here. And I don't think Kyogre takes this either. And even if it does, I have Iron Hands in the back. Yeah, GG. So that's the power of Scraggy right there. That's what it's doing on this team. Let's see if we can do something like that again. Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if I stopped the video right there, but I think I'll do my usual play 2-3 losses. I don't know if we're getting a better game than that one. Koraidon, Fluttermane, Volcarona, Terrapagos, Forestone, Ogerpon, and Grimmsnarl. How do I beat Koraidon with this? Well, Trick Room, probably, right? I mean, not even necessarily. Miraidon and Iron Treads, obviously they have some exploitable weaknesses, but they definitely hit hard into this stuff. But yeah, something like the mode from last game, I would not be mad to use again here. The Fake Out lead with Trick Room, pretty good. Only thing is I kind of want to lead Iron Hands for the Fake Out lead this time, but I probably shouldn't because I might need it for Terrapagos. Can I do the same lead as last game? It was a little bit awkward that leading Scraggy and Farigiraf that I had no immediate damage on the field afterward, but I'll try it again. Nope, not that. This. There we go. Okay, it's Ogerpon, Terrapagos. I'm down to just fake out Terrapagos. If it has leftovers, then it'll get its Terra Shell back, but at least it won't move this turn unless they redirect. Just go for Trick Room. They taunt Farigiraf, so no Trick Room. I don't know if I've seen taunt Ogerpon before. I feel like I must have at some point, but not recently. Yeah, okay, that means I'm not getting Trick Room this game, almost certainly, but if I just click Coaching and switch to Iron Hands here, so same play as last time, but different recipient, they got the Ogerpon out of there. That's a little bit awkward, especially if they burn the hands. What's the Terra type on this hands? Water? It's Terra Fire Calyrex, but water hands, so I have no burn immunity. But, I mean, I can keep doing this, I guess. They do have their Terra Shell back. Rage Powder, of course. So it's not very effective, and they could have Flame Body. They definitely have a Rocky Helmet. Jury's out on Flame Body. They probably have Flame Body, why wouldn't they? I do kind of want to just Wild Charge the Volk, though. That makes Terrapagos harder to beat in the endgame, but I need this out of here. I don't know that I win without getting rid of it, so... Actually gonna go for Farigiraf. Still looking to get that Trick Room up if I get the chance. But yeah, I'm just trying to get rid of the Volcarona here. Iron Hands takes that Terra Starstorm nicely. Power of Assault Vest, Iron Hands right there. It actually survives attacking the Volcarona. Oh, not after recoil. Never mind. Never mind, I was mistaken. Well, I can go Scraggy here. And I can... Oh, no, it's the same position as last time. Alright, well, if Farigiraf takes a Terra Starstorm, then I can still get Trick Room up. But I fake out the Ogre Pawn this time. But this game is looking rough, for sure. I mean, I talked up how powerful Miraidon is, and then I haven't been bringing it since that game, so that's an obvious thing that I could consider beyond this one game. Let's double into Ogre Pawn here. Maybe I shouldn't, because if I get a Glacial Lance into it, that's kind of a free boost. Let's Endeavor the Terapagos with Scraggy's action. Oh, right. Never mind. Okay, Scraggy survives this though, so I do have one chance at coaching. And I think it's probably worth. I don't think they're going to let me get an Endeavor into Terapagos. Endeavor into Terapagos would be incredible here, but I don't think they're going to let me. So I'll coach. Okay, they kill a turn of Trick Room, makes sense, but that means now I get +2 Calyrex attacking on this next turn. And they can't redirect Glacial Lance, of course. So Scraggy might be coming through once again. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't KO the Terapagos, but it does a lot. But I am about to run out of Trick Room turns, because they'll just protect through this next one. That Terra Starstorm didn't do that much damage, though. What do they have in the back? I think the most important question is, does the Fluttermane survive this turn? If it has Protect or Focus Sash, I think I lose. If it doesn't have either of those, I think I win. Let's see. I think it has a Focus Sash. Yeah. Oh well. Didn't quite figure that one out in the end, but still a good game. We'll get at least one more here. Archaladon. Haven't seen one of those in a while. This one, well, yeah. Except in certain Reg H content. Then we got Kyogre, Miraidon, Whimsicott, Urshifu, probably Rapid Strike form, and Iron Hands. Okay. My Iron Hands look strong here for sure. Can I just lead, like... So I could do Miraidon Hands and just start attacking, or I could do Miraidon Farigiraf and go for the Trick Room setup again. Leave the Ice Rider behind this time. I don't know if that's good, but let's try it. The Ice Rider has been the best Pokemon on this team, though, I think. I mean, Miraidon's excellent, too, but... it's Single Striker Shifu. I guessed wrong. Well, do you have a Scarf? Should I have Dazzling Gleam here? Nah, they'll cover for that, right? Surely. They'll Terra Poison or switch out or something. Actually, they might not. They have Tailwind on the board. Well, if I just gifted them my Farigiraf, we'll try to live with that. Yeah, and I have. And I could have just Dazzling Gleamed. Well, we knock out Urshifu anyway. You know what I can do? I can get Hands in here and then Scraggy. And because I don't have Trick Room up and I now have no way to set it, Scraggy will be slower than Hands, but still better than nothing. I can fake out Kyogre. Whimsicott can't Encore it because Scraggy's a Dark type. Yeah. They protect. Fair enough. Moonblast does more than I'd like. I I could Terra Water the hands here. In fact, I think I should. In fact, I probably should have last turn. Terra Water? They're just going in on damage here. But I do trade hands for Kyogre, which might be okay under some circumstances, but I think I'm just too many Pokemon behind now. Let's see what their last one is. It's Miraidon. They've used their Terra, so they can't Terra Fairy on me or something. Of course, I've also used my Terra. Their Miraidon's probably fast. Oh, they're in Tailwind. It's definitely faster, but I'll just click Dazzling Gleam and lose to Draco Meteor. Okay, so I went 1-3 here. There was one team, there was one game where I absolutely used the team the way it was intended, and it was a lot of fun. The others, I was not really able to figure this one out. I was very often leaving one restricted Pokemon behind. I'm probably not supposed to do that so much. And, look, the struggle with Miraidon kind of continues. I am going to get one more game, at least, and see if I can set up the coaching stuff in Trick Room again. This looks like a hard Trick Room team, so... they're going to underspeed my stuff is the problem. This might actually be the worst matchup to try to do this, but yeah, I'm just going to throw these two at them immediately and see what I can do. But yeah, this team is maybe not super well playing to my strengths, but we did see in that second game just how much fun it can be when it works as intended, and considering the result that it got, it definitely is a better team than I've made it look here. So you love to see a silly little unevolved niche Pokemon like Scraggy find a role in the metagame. And it really came through on this team. And I think that I did do a decent... well, I don't think it was me. I think it was a Pokemon. But I think we did have a decent result here in terms of showing what Scraggy can do, right? With that unique combination of Intimidate, Eviolite, Dark typing, Fake Out, Coaching, and that perfect speed tier for certain positions. Do Snorlax run Thick Fat right now? I have no idea. Unfortunately, Snorlax is even slower than Scraggy, so if they get a Belly Drum next turn, they won't this turn. But if they set Trick Room and oh, maybe they will this turn. I can't even underspeed and foul play is what I'm saying. Oh, I denied the Belly Drum with the Glacial Lance. Nice, let's go. And they set Trick Room for me, so I can coach here. Oh, come on! I'm not. That doesn't count. I'm getting another one. I want coaching boosts again. Okay. Miraidon, Ho-Oh, Farigiraf, Hands, Ensign, Fluttermane. So if I can set Trick Room on this, then Glacial Lance goes kinda crazy. Let's try leading my two restricteds. I can Volt Switch out to Scraggy and try to set Trick Room with the Calyrex. I'll bring hands. That feels intuitively more like the way this is supposed to be played. Maybe I need the Farigiraf to deal with their Ensign, but we'll just try without. And we'll see what happens. They lead Incineroar Ho-Oh, so yeah, that can kind of ruin my day a little bit. But not that much, actually. I think I just have to protect this turn. I have Terra Fire Calyrex as well, so I can cover for a Sacred Fire with that, but I actually want them to fake out Miraidon here because okay, that works too. I want to execute the Volt Switch next turn so I can time it properly with the Trick Room. I'm gonna Terra Fire, Trick Room, and I'm gonna Volt Switch into Incineroar this time. because I don't really want Calyrex getting knocked off. At least not without heavy cost to the opponent. But yeah, this is looking like I'll get the timing I want here, which is Miraidon Volt switching out to Scraggy on the same turn that Calyrex clicks Trick Room. They go their own Miraidon. Okay, that is excellent. We one-shot the Incineroar with the Volt switch. Get Scraggy in. This game is going perfectly so far. Trick Room's up. Pair of Fire, so even if Ho comes in and tanks a hit, it can't burn Calyrex. They come on! No, I want to play one of these out. Alright, another one. I mean, a win's a win, I guess, but... Man. This has a Lunala. They could have Wide Guard. They could also not have Wide Guard, but some of them do, some of them don't. Terrafire Calyrex looks strong here, though. And you know that's what I'm going to try. Yeah, let's just do the same mode as last game. Except, do I want hands in the back still, or do I want treads? Treads is awkward because I'm leaning into the Trick Room mode, but I mean, I can make it work, I think. Let's bring treads. I haven't brought treads to a single game. Let's do it. Alright. I'm gonna Terrafire. I'm still weak to Meat Eater Beam if I Terrafire. Maybe I want to protect and Electro Drift here instead of Volt switching. Break the Shadow Shield. Set Lunala up to be knocked out next turn. They also could Trick Room for me. They don't. They Meat Eater Beam. Okay. But you see, the point is, now I can Terrafire and get the Trick Room. I'll try to get rid of this Lunala if I can. It's honestly less urgent, though, now that they've already used their one single turn Meteor Beam. If you're wondering why I called it Meat Eater Beam, it's an old Wolf Glickism, and one of my favorites. Incineroar's here. Did I just protect and hard switch to Scraggy? How well does Scraggy take a Chi-Yu Heat Wave? I mean, it's got a lot of bulk. Maybe not that badly. Intimidate the Incin too, that's funny. Too bad we didn't intimidate the Koraidon. They're loading up on fire types though, right? Because they haven't used their Terra yet. They have nothing but fire types left, assuming it's Terra Fire, Koraidon. So, in that case, why don't I... The thing is, with coaching, Calyrex gets that +1 defense as well, right? Why don't I just high horsepower the Incineroar slot? It's not like they could safely switch Chi-Yu in on that. And coach. Yep, Terrafire Koraidon. I could have probably read that and high horsepowered that slot instead, but I think it's fine. We get to +2, thanks to the Chilling Neigh. +2 attack, +1 defense. But look at how well Calyrex took that collision course just now. I still have 2 turns of Trick Room left, and they forfeit. And I'm going to call it here. No, you know what? This is a 3-game winning streak now. I keep saying I'm going to end the video, but I guess I'm having too much fun with Scraggy. I'm going to play until I lose 1 more. That's the new plan. And I am just going to try to keep setting up that coaching Trick Room stuff. It has worked 3 games in a row now. I had a rough start to the video, but things are really turning around. This is a fast team that does not want to play in Trick Room, I think. Although the Ditto could make things interesting. That also means they could have ways to shut Trick Room down, like an Imprison Indeedee. So that's a bit of an issue, possibly. But if I just throw this Terrafire Calyrex at them with... what? Miraidon. Let's make them prove they have an answer to it. Yeah, so they're going to turn off my Electric Terrain turn 1. I led Miraidon so that I can just immediately... mess with the Annihilate. And not just lose to Final Gambit, basically. I'm going to Dazzling Gleam. I'll chip both of these. See if I can set up some Glacial Lance KOs. And I'm protected with Calyrex because, again, I don't want that taking a Final Gambit. Which is what at this point, what I expect if I see an Annihilate in this format. Although some people are still running other sets. Maybe I should just be volt switching out of here. Getting my Hadron engine back. Okay, they final gambited to Miraidon. If I had known they were going to do that, I had a safe Trick Room here, but it's okay. I think. Alluring Voice and DD is awkward too, because that's pretty dangerous to Scraggy. So I'll go Iron Hands first. There's the Shadow Rider Calyrex. I think I'm just going to Terrafire my Calyrex immediately. I need this Trick Room. And Low Kick doesn't do much to DD, so let's Wild Charge it. I'll target it into the Calyrex. They can redirect if they want. And they don't. Oh, it's just Expanding Force. I turned off my Psychic Resistance. Still worked out, though. Now I guess I just have to hope that +1 Glacial Lance KOs. Simple as that. It is a Life Orb Shadow Rider. Might not take this very well. I am glad to see that not a Focus Sash. If it were Focus Sash, would it be doomed? I could Foul Play the Calyrex, but they could redirect, so it would probably be doomed. They still have Alluring Voice. I bet that KOs my Calyrex. They go into Scraggy instead. And look at that bulk. Does not KO. And they turn their Ditto into Scraggy. They do get Intimidate, but only into Scraggy, because I have Clear Amulet on Calyrex. And what I can do here is Glacial Lance and Endeavor Ditto. They can't Fake Out, because their own Psychic Terrain is still active. They can Underspeed my Calyrex and knock it out with Foul Play. Alright, well I said I'd play until I lost one more, and it's kind of fitting that I lose. You know, I win by the Scraggy underspeeding my Trick Room attackers, lose by the Scraggy underspeeding my Trick Room attackers. The Choice Scarf was on the Annihilate. I'm so used to Ditto running Choice Scarf, I didn't really consider that it would be at the same speed stat as Scraggy, but of course the Scarf was on the Annihilate, so if I thought that one through properly, I should have known. Even then, though, I think... How do I win that? I don't know if I could. Because I'm never doing much damage to this with Foul Play, right? Even if I win the speed tie with Scraggy. And Calyrex always drops to 1 Foul Play. So I think when Ditto came in, maybe they just had my number there. So yeah, this video went a little bit longer than I originally intended. I was having a lot of fun winning games with the Scraggy in Trick Room. Obviously, I've shown some ways that it can go wrong here, but I've also shown some ways that it can go very right. And play some very short games because opponents bailed when the Calyrex started to snowball. Scraggy is certainly not the best Pokemon in the game. Even though it had that very good result in Thailand, I would not expect it to become a meta staple going forward. But it's definitely a very fun, little, silly, unevolved Pokemon that has found a very real niche. And like I said, it's very fitting that in the end I was defeated by my own Scraggy in this final ladder run here. But we're going to leave it at that. Definitely a fun team. I'll probably put the rental code in the description. Honestly, why not? I have the rental code. You can go try it out, Scarlet and Violet, then. And come back next time for, I don't know what team it'll be. We'll find out.